Hello, Bulldogs. Welcome to another special showcase featuring the library. Now, by now, you probably know that I love having guest readers because anybody who can help me promote the love of reading, I want them by my side. So, I have my big magic box again to help you figure out from these clues who our guest reader is. Now, my first clue, opening the box, a bulldog. This person has worked at Roslyn Road for over 20 years. And this person took this very special bulldog to Washington, D.C. when Roslyn Road got their second blue ribbon. Now, my second clue is this crayon bookend. Do you know anybody who has had this crayon bookend in their room? I think a few of you might know. You might recognize it. This person loves reading probably as much or more as I do because this person has this note close to their workspace. It says, "Thank you for being a reader." Do you have it figured out yet? I don't know. Another thing about this person is they are an extraordinary baker. Doesn't that cupcake look nummy-licious? And this person is so special that they offer a summer school class to do cooking. Now, I'm going to give you about 10 seconds to think about it. We've got a cupcake. We have this very cool crayon. A bulldog who went to Washington, D.C. And somebody who thanks you for being a reader. That's not me. Are you ready? Get ready. Our guest reader is Mrs. Weiss. Isn't that exciting? You're going to enjoy this book so much. She picked it out and it's very special to her and it's very special to me too. Enjoy this morning's showcase with Mrs. Weiss.
Hello, all my Roslyn friends. It's Mrs. Weiss. I'm so excited to be your mystery reader this week. So for today, I have chosen the book Ordinary Mary's Extraordinary Deed. This will be a reminder to all of you that kids can make a huge difference and you guys can change the world. So I hope you enjoy the story. Let's get started. All right, so we'll take a look at that picture. There's Ordinary Mary. So I'll read and then I'll make sure I show you the picture, okay? One ordinary day, skipping on her way from her ordinary school to her ordinary house, she passed an ordinary vacant lot filled with ordinary bushes, growing ordinary berries, ordinary blue and juicy, luscious, lovely berries. So you know another word for ordinary is like common, so things you see all the time. So look at all those delicious blueberries. Well, Ordinary Mary picked the ordinary berries and brought them in a big brown bowl to Mrs. Bishop's porch. What? Left berries in a big brown bowl on Mrs. Bishop's porch? That sneaky kid, she did. This made Mrs. Bishop very, very happy. So she baked a big batch of blueberry muffins and thought of 5 people who might have brought those beautiful berries, then secretly gave each a plate. How great! 5 people got a plate. One of those 5 was her paper boy, Billy Parker, and when Billy saw his name on a note in the driveway on a plate, he quickly parked his bike and ate every crumb. Oh, yum, yum, yum! He ate every crumb. This made him so glad that the next 5 people got their papers on the porch and not in the bushes where he often threw them. In fact, they were handed right to them. One of those 5 was Mr. Stevens, who was so amazed that he smiled for 10 hours on the airplane, then said to 5 different people who had heavy bags, "Here, let me help you." He still smiled, and they did too. One of those 5 was Maria, whose cranky little boy James stopped crying when Mr. Stevens played peekaboo with him until their ride came. When he waved goodbye, Maria exclaimed, "How strange that a stranger would be so sweet." And the next day, when she was out shopping once, twice, 5 times, she did something nice for 5 different people, 5 times without stopping. One of those 5 was Joseph, old and bent and gray, in front of her in line at the produce stand. When he said, "I guess I counted wrong. I don't really need these oranges," little James reached out to him with an orange from their basket, and Maria put a coin in Joseph's hand and said, "Here, take this. The oranges are on us." As Joseph shuffled to the bus, his heart was full and his eyes were wet, and his hands did helpful things for the next 5 people he met. One of those 5 was Sarah, a college girl who was off to see the world and stopped at Joseph's shop. When her bag broke and her things fell all over the floor, she said, "Oh, what will I do?" Joseph said, "This is for you," and he gave her a new bag woven with his own hands in red and purple and green. "Oh, thank you," she said. "It's the loveliest bag I've ever seen." When Sarah left, she felt sunny as noon, and she just had to shine on the 5 people soon. One of those 5 was Sophia, whom she met on a boat, looking like the world might end, looking like someone without a friend. "What beautiful blue eyes you have," Sarah said, "and they're just the color of the flowers in your lovely dress." "Yes," said Sophia. "Oh, yes," said Sarah. The beautiful blue eyes shed a happy tear, and when the boat trip was through, Sophia called 5 people to make them happy too. One of those 5 was Tom, her son, the doctor, who was having a very hard day. "Hi," she said. "I love you, Tom." "Well, how great to hear your voice," he sighed. "I always need my mom." Dr. Tom was so cheered up that on his next break he bought a big bunch of bright balloons for 5 young patients, and he handed them out right then and there. One of those 5 was Peter, a little boy who went home from the hospital that very day. Gratitude for the big bunch of bright balloons filled him and thrilled him and spilled out of him and onto the next 5 people who came his way. One of those 5 was Eric, a teenage boy whose sacks and such were way too much. When one dropped on the sidewalk, Peter stopped his play and rushed right over, saying, "Super Wheels to the rescue!" Well, Eric, no longer stressed, was very impressed and made a mental note that very afternoon to help 5 people and do it soon. Do you guys notice some rhyming in this book? One of those 5 was Di, his 10-year-old sister who didn't have many friends and was painfully shy. When Eric said, "Hey sis, want to come to the park and learn how to ride my skateboard?" she looked at him wide-eyed. "Serious?" she cried. "Sure," he said, and because of her brother, Di decided maybe she could be a friend to another 5 others. One of those 5 was Louise, a homeless woman who lived under the trees. She could hardly believe her ears when she heard Di say, "May my brother and I buy you a hot dog and a drink at that stand over there?" Could it be true? Someone actually cared. Cared enough to give her food and a smiley-faced ring that was practically new. Louise was so pleased that she decided that even though she had nothing, she would find 5 others and give them something. One of those 5s was Mr. Taylor, who lost his wallet in the park. Louise found it, full of 5s and 10s and 20s. Oh, what she could do with all of that money! But she found his name and called his home, and over he came. He was so impressed that she was honest in spite of being poor that he offered her a job in his store and vowed to do something generous for 5 people or more. One of those 5 was Kate, a woman on vacation who wanted to see a show she'd heard was a sensation. "Oh no," she said, "it's sold out." "But I'm going home tomorrow," and her face filled with sorrow. Mr. Taylor held out his ticket. "I live here," he said. "I can go any time. Take mine." Kate loved the show and was so touched that she thought buying 5 presents for 5 people back home would really be fun. And one of those 5 presents was a little heart necklace for Mary, her niece. And you should have seen her eyes light up in surprise. Mary, what? Ordinary Mary? Yes, Ordinary Mary's extraordinary deed had come full circle, and on its way it had changed the lives of every person living. You see, when Mrs. Bishop made muffins for Mary's blueberries, not only the paper boy Billy Parker, but the other 4 people too, made 5 people smile, and those 5 did too. And after a while, in only 15 days, love was sent to every person everywhere. Just see how it went. Oh, here's some math. All right. You see all that? How it just keeps doubling? It just keeps going. Just keeps getting higher and higher and higher when you multiply all those numbers. Look how many people. Oops. Well, 6 billion is even more than all of the people on the planet. So after everyone had a share and everybody knew that somebody cared, there was even love left over. The world was changed. And thousands and millions and billions agreed it was all because one ordinary day, Ordinary Mary did a perfectly ordinary, stunningly earth-shaking, totally extraordinary deed. So, Bulldogs, today I challenge you to do something nice for 5 people. If we all do that, then we'll do our part and we'll be able to change the world too. So, it could be smiling at somebody, or saying hello, or maybe picking up some toys or things at home for mom or dad before being asked. Just think about doing something nice for some other people today. I had so much fun reading to you, and I hope you enjoy the story. I'll see you soon. Bye.